What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. Bans, hostility, and a huge game in Champions League to Galatasaray in Istanbul. Of all, there's a lot of noise around this Juventus side, and Spalletti thrown a couple curveballs going into the game. We've got a ton to discuss, and I'm sure this is going to be a great show, everybody. And of course, I got my man Omar with me to rock it. Omar, you ready for this one, buddy?
We can talk for 3 hours and not even reach the match. I mean, it's basically everywhere, right?
Oh,
All
yeah.
media, outside of Italy. So yeah, I'm still fuming a bit. Like every now and then, I remember a call not called, and I get angry for a second. Um, but all in all, I'm good. And to be honest, I think it's been more positive than negative after that.
Yeah, and we'll get to it all, obviously, because today there were some punishments handed out, obviously, and we're going to review it all. And obviously, you had that googly-eyed son of a bitch adding fuel to the fire there rather than acting like an experienced executive would. All right. Yeah, we got our 2 cents on that one as well with old Beppe there. But we're going to have a lot of fun. I want to say what's up to everybody in the army. Danny Oliveira, good morning, everybody. Let's get this win. Sashko, andiamo, ragazzi. Gio, buongiorno, Juventini. We got Panda in here. Ciao, ragazzi. Tuna's in here. Skippy's in here. Jack Crispy. Great to see you all, okay? Forza Juve Eric in here. Apex, fantastic to see you in here. Wing of Winter. The Cyclops, Colonel Beppe and Adam Khan in here. We're going to have a lot of fun, okay? LJJ, great to see you as well. Everybody that's tuning in, take a second, drop the like. We got Mas dropping the Wayo. Great to see you all. We're going to have a lot of fun, okay? And we'll start with still the aftermath looms. Yesterday, you had Beppe Marotta making comments, etc. Today, we get punishments. Are you ready for this one? Ready for this one, everybody? La Pena, Federico La Pena, the official, after Rocchi, the chief of officials in Serie A, comes out and states, yes, obvious, clear errors, apologized, and said, but, they're trying to trick us. Great.
Oh,
La
he's
Pena has
devastated.
received
Remember,
1 game suspension. 1 game. 1 game. Kalulu remains, despite them admitting a big mistake. Kalulu remains banned for the Como match. Chiellini will be suspended until the 27th of February. Comoli suspended until March 31st. This is a suspension, as far as I know right now, until further details come out, from being in the stadiums for the matches. They can still perform their duties at Continassa. Okay? Omer, the penalties.
I mean, are you even surprised at all? I'm not. It's exactly what I expected. They will blame the victim, and that's just how this shit works in Italy. We've been there before. It's not the first time, and it's definitely not the last. At least as long as Gravina is there. So I'm not shocked. I don't think it have much effect either way on Juve. I expected Kalulu to keep his ban, and they wouldn't reverse it. I don't think it affects Juve that much that Chiellini and Comoli wouldn't be in the stadium. So it's just normal Serie A bullshit that we see every year, sometimes with Juve, sometimes with other teams, but mainly with Juve. So it's just another bullshit. I don't really pay much attention to it.
It's not surprising, but it's complete and total bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
annoying as
complete and
fuck.
total
Yeah,
bullshit. I mean, holy smokes. You want to talk about, and again, I kind of highlighted it in the post match, but I said they're making it all about one instance. They're making it all about one instance when you actually break down that Derby d'Italia. it was a botch job to an intense degree from start to finish from that official. This isn't a one instance thing. Like, that match was ruined to the point where you couldn't even talk about football, to the point where analysts were saying you can't even talk about the game. That's how bad it was. And the fact that just it's a I'm sorry is just shows you, like, does anybody actually give a shit around that league? You've got more fuel to the corruption fire, okay? You've got it all. And funny enough, Beppe Marotta decides to pipe up about it and stir the pot more, and he just goes to show you several things. Number one, his transformation into absolute scum since joining them is complete, okay? The only class you had, buddy, was when you were associated with us. You've completely lost it. He wants to act arrogant towards Chiellini, calling him young and inexperienced, when the young and inexperienced one didn't mention your filthy name or your filthy club's name. He kept it at the task at hand, which is a massive growing issue that this league has when it comes to officiating that several teams are not happy with. And the credibility of the league, the championship, it's ridiculous. If you think it's okay for any one team, take Juve out of the equation. If you think it is okay for a team to have 6 to 8 demotions or suspensions or penalties to official crews after their games in a span that is less than a year and a half, if you think that is okay or normal, it's not. It's bullshit. There is a problem. This guy turned it into a pissing match, Beppe Marotta, going back to 2021. Dude, you've lost the plot. You're an idiot. And there's a reason they're the only ones happy about these officials. Corruption, it's bullshit, and I'm sick and tired of it.
It mainly showed that he's either stupid or corrupt. I'm gonna rant a bit. Can I? I mean,
Fire
my
away,
wife
brother.
had to hear me.
Fire away.
Yeah, my wife had to hear me, so at least Juve fans get to hear me now. He's absolutely just stupid. What he did was stupid. Juve, Chiellini and Comoli, mainly, like you said, they didn't mention Inter, Bastoni, Kivu. No one. They said there's a huge issue here with refereeing in general, and it needs to be changed. They didn't even say it's always against Juve. And to be honest, it isn't. I don't feel like it's something that singles out Juve and they're the only ones suffering. I mean, just Napoli against Genoa, non-existent penalty, Gift Orban getting that red card for God knows what, and go back to the Atalanta match, or who was it, the Lazio match, or do we need to go further than 3 weeks back? So they raised a red flag about an increasing issue that most teams feel is a problem in Serie A. And what he had to say was bring up some ridiculous penalty from 5 years ago that had zero effects on Inter themselves. And he singled out Chiellini, he singled out Juve, he talked about everything that doesn't need to be talked about, which tells me that either he's just an idiot, that cross-eyed Cyclops is just a fucking idiot and doesn't understand what Chiellini was talking about, or there's a bigger issue here. And by raising this subject, Inter are now in danger. Suddenly all eyes are on them, and maybe now everyone will see what happens at Inter, what happens with the ref, because it's been going on. I mean, go look back at their penalty record, at their red card record. There's a huge issue there. And to be honest, I don't give a shit about those fucks. I do give a shit about Juve's points. And Juve lost possibly 9 points, maybe this season, through refereeing errors, which would have put us in second place? Actually challenging for the Scudetto. And that's what Chiellini was singling out. That's it. That whole debate of, oh, but a few years ago this happened, then it's bullshit. It means nothing. It means nothing. You can't go back blaming some referee when the rules were this or that. What does it do to the sport? Does it do any good to Serie A? Absolutely not. Marotta dropped the ball. He had a chance himself to help renovate the rules and make football more fun to watch for us fans, for everyone who pays tickets. And instead, he chose to go nuclear. He chose to blow it all off and just blame Juve for even God knows what. I have no idea what he blamed Juve for. 5 years, a penalty, 5 years ago.
Which was a
It's just
penalty, by the way.
yeah, it was a penalty. There was a red card, an invented red card on Bentancur that match. Of
Yep.
course, he didn't mention that. And
Why would he?
I mean, why would he? It doesn't suit the narrative.
Exactly.
It was all stupid, and I want to single out Juve's management. Bravo to them. Really, they deserve the applause. And it even infuriates me more because look what happens when Juve's management say enough is enough. Why do we have to wait? Did we have to wait this long to hear about it with that sleeping panda up in the stands? Why didn't you raise your voice earlier? Juve spoke about one thing. The media from France, from Belgium, from Germany, from I don't know how many countries in Europe shift their attention to that and start talking about that's how big Juve are. That's how massive the effect. And we've gotten silence, absolute silence for 4 years. So thank you, Chiellini and Comoli, for speaking on behalf of Juve. I'm proud of the entire organization in that matter. They have done nothing wrong. They weren't the one calling for Bastoni to be dropped out of the national team or anything like that. They said we have a problem with the refereeing in the league. That's it. And
Yeah.
that idiot Marotta chose to make it something against Inter. God knows why.
He turned it
So
into a
fuck to
pissing
all of
match.
them.
And had the
Fuck all of them.
dude, the audacity to go at Chiellini, calling him young, inexperienced, whatever, when you show what a mutt you are, classless. And the way Comoli and Chiellini approached it was spot on. I love everything the club did. I like the fact that Elkan got involved and actually reached out to Gravina because Gravina has the power and he has rescinded cards before in suspensions. We've seen that. We've seen that in games Juve was involved with. And here he is. And they still don't do the right thing in the end. And that part doesn't surprise me. And that part raises the big question. You know, what do you do if you're Juve? Jamal says, at what point do we walk off? Okay, now walk off is something some brought up at that time and said they should have walked off at half. It's an absolute joke. They shouldn't return. But some are going a step further saying Juve needs to leave this league in the dust. And they don't realize that no matter where Juve's at in terms of a cycle, whether that be winning, whether that be battling for top four, whether that be outside of that, if you go years back into a true banter era coming after the nonsense that happened, they're still the top draw. They're still the top draw. There are fans that say you leave this league in the dust. Go play in another league. Just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts to something like that and statements like that from fans? Like just to leave Serie A in the dust, Omer?
Statements in general or in practicality if Juve leaves the league?
In like leaving the league.
On one hand, it depends where they go. Honestly, I'm all for reshaping leagues in Europe in general. They became non-competitive. It's always the same teams and nothing else can happen. Like I would add the three Portuguese teams to the Spanish league and so on, maybe Celtic and Rangers to the EPL and Ajax to the German league, something like that. Will Juve do it? I don't know. As part of being a fan is having those old rivalries with some of those clubs. I wouldn't leave the league. I mean, everything turns around in the end. I wouldn't leave the league.
For me, and you could see it in the chat, I'm a proponent of this. You see others saying no way. Here's what we got here. I'm for staying And hopefully this lighting a fire that next time we don't stop at 9 and we go to 18 straight. Forget these guys. Forget these guys. Like, you still take care of business. Your history, everything here is dominant. It's one of the reasons why they're like that. Their inferiority complex has created the mess that you see. It's keep Juve down. I would rather see a different approach from Juve. I would hope that this now, fuels this fire, stokes this fire that we can go and get things right and attack everybody and make them pay. And make them pay where they can't afford it because we can, and that's in their pockets. If I'm Juve, I start focusing business elsewhere. And you can pick up your Italians, you can round out your squads to include who you want, whatever, get the players you want, but I take my money, I take my business, I take my sponsorships outside the league. I don't do anything with these guys that benefit them and their pockets. And you know what? It's crazy. I would push for so much. It's not even funny. I would push for TV rights being the biggest draw. I would push for your own production. Since the league doesn't want to do their own production, I'd push for Juve's own production. I'd say, you want a piece? Step in, put some money down, or shut the fuck up. I would do so much, man. But seriously, take your money elsewhere. These guys can fucking rock. They've all been picking off the tree that is Juve, and now they never understand it. They never could. Make them understand. That's my thing. So not leave, make them understand what the fuck is going on and what the story actually is.
Okay, so what I saw an article today that there is already a big issue that the FIGC doesn't like, that Juve stopped buying from Italian teams, even for next gen. All the guys who bought into next gen, did any of them come from an Italian team? All of them came from abroad, and some of those teams are heavily reliant on the money coming in from clubs like Juve. And it starts being an issue for Serie A because some of those clubs might be liquidated or whatever. I'm talking about like 2-3 years from now. If Juve maintain that system of not buying inside Italy, everyone's going to feel the effects. Everyone. And not Juve.
Yeah. But for me, man, it's the same old, same old. It's everything we've always come to know. Amici di nessuno, you see it loud and clear. And Comoli has now learned Amici di nessuno and what that's all about. So to Comoli, welcome to Juventus officially. Welcome to Juventus officially, because you've had your press conference, you've had the welcoming, you had all that go through as you joined, but now you are truly welcomed into Juventus, and now you actually see what this is all about, and now you see where we're at and where we stand, and I hope that this ignites you to run rampant, and I will put any skepticism I have aside, okay? Because even if I am skeptical, always root for everyone that's a part of Juventus to succeed. But now that you're officially welcomed into Juventus, you see what it's like. I hope it ignites you. Good luck and Godspeed, sir, to getting us back to just shutting these chihuahuas, these mutts up and sending them back where they deserve to be. And that's staring up at the top where we belong. So, hey, welcome aboard, Comoli. Now you see what it's all about.
And I wish that you realize how much power Juve has. Now, as new directors and such, Juve have a lot more power and influence on this league than it seems in the past few years. I wish that I understand that quicker.
I want to talk about the officiating in general. There's been a lot of ideas on the post-match show, like, what do you do? How do you get this better? There was a couple suggestions. The big games, you pull in officials from other countries. No Italians can officiate the big matchups. There's another suggestion that came from Davide Caruso, longtime supporter. Shout out to him. I know him and his son watch a lot. And he said in Australia, what they do is matches are reviewed by a committee for simulation. So after they are played, they are reviewed for the officials' performances, for simulation from players. And they said teams can be penalized, players can be penalized after the fact. And the officials, everyone essentially, the teams involved in the match and the officials are all held accountable, and that's what they do. They bring in a committee to review these matches after they are played. What do you think about both of those suggestions, Omar, moving forward in Italy?
Where is the committee coming from? Because if they're all Italian, it's not going to work.
That's
Everyone
true
in
too.
Italy
So
has,
essentially, we all believe you need to get non-Italians involved.
yeah, yeah, because Italy, up to the level of mayors and well, not long ago, like the prime minister of Italy, like had a horse in this race. So politics is very much integrated into football in Italy, and it shows. So I wouldn't do that with Italians. I don't trust them being honest and fair, like we've just seen with Kalulu maintaining his ban and Bastoni and Inter get absolutely nothing. So if you do that, bring in some guys from the outside.
Yeah. And that's kind of where we got to be now. And it would only be a matter of time before Inter paid some of these other guys too as well in those committees, despite them not being Italian, okay? Because they're crooked fucks and they get one of those, okay? Now, who knows what they're going to do in terms of some other headlines. Juve ready an offer for Senesi, apparently set to hit within a few hours, according to Mirko Di Natale. I believe Nico Schira continued to say yesterday that the push is starting to pick up steam because Juve's feeling the heat from some other sides in their advancements for Senesi, so we wait on that one. Konstantinos Zoulakis, Juve apparently inquire on this player. I will tell you absolutely nothing other than the fact he's making a little bit of noise at Olympiacos when it comes to him. But these are just a little bit in the rumor mill right now. When you come to some real headlines, a lot of it in the build-up to this match with Galatasaray came around the fitness, okay? And that here, when you're talking about this, Holm, 1 month out, newcomer. Didn't even look like he was hurt in that match in the Derby d'Italia. Nope. Had no idea. Came to a complete shock. And here we are. You've got Holm out 1 month. So Como will be interesting because Kalulu's ban will stand. Holm's out a month. So, a little bit of a curveball there for Spalletti. We get some good news going into this game with Kefren Turam being back and available. It is expected that he's supposed to start. However, you get some different types of projections there. We'll get into it. And then you've got Jonathan David, surprise, out of the squad list. They're listed yesterday with a groin issue. So here you go. We got some things to talk about. Number one, I want to ask you, how did you feel about Holm's performance in that Derby d'Italia? He was getting a lot of positive reviews from fans.
Yeah, I was impressed. I think he did well. I think compared to his limitations, as a dribbler or whatever, he actually has some good pace despite his height. He did use his body and his physique very well to get past the Inter players. I actually really liked what I saw from him. He was always in place. He was darting forward and getting back fast enough. I mean, it seems good. I wanted Holm before he moved to Atalanta. It was a permanent purchase I used to do on FIFA because I liked him. So
we're always partial to the FIFA or now FC picks. That's funny.
Well, you buy someone and then a few years later you see him actually making it big. So you're kind of proud of yourself.
Yes, Adam, I did remove him. Okay, sick and tired of seeing clowns in here. I won't hesitate or think twice to remove them. Okay, what, you got one Galatasaray fan in here out of nowhere? Get the fuck out of here. Let's have some fun. Now, We got to get to if you're talking about home, my thoughts. He's bigger than I expected. Like he's a pretty tall kid. Like
Oh, he's a Viking, man. The
he's
Swedish
called
Viking. He
the
has the size
Swedish
of goods.
Moose there, anyways. But yeah, no, I thought he did pretty well. I liked his performance. He's got a good work rate, good work ethic. I mean, he's working very hard in that Derby d'Italia. Got the legs pumping there. I thought he was doing really, really good stuff. I liked it. He had a couple good crosses in there as well. Yeah, I had no complaints with that. It's tough to fully gauge, and that's why I said you can't talk about football in that game. He comes into that game, you're one man down, you're at the San Siro. It's just difficult circumstances to really truly gauge these guys and what they did. Even when Boga comes in and he's played up at the top, and it's like, okay, this is not typical. This is not standard for him. Even some fans after the game that tried to talk about Spalletti and potential changes and everything, I go, guys, you can't truly treat this like your typical decisions or substitutions or whatever. It's so off the cuff. It's so difficult. There's a lot of emotions in there. The hostility, you saw what Spalletti was in the middle of at the halftime. The players were all there. I thought they all acted fantastic after it. I love the reaction. I love the fight. I love the dig. And again, we all left with a similar sentiment, and that is pride. For the first time in a very long time, I felt like really damn proud from Juve, from all facets. Management, players, coach, like everything. I loved it. You look at Beppe Marotta, what he said, then you look at Spalletti and how he treated it. And I loved every bit. The slightest of digs on Kivu, but that mutt deserved it. Because he said, he goes, Kalulu's a great guy. And that was a mistake, admitted mistake, that was made by the official. He goes, but what I don't like and what I would have never expected is for him to be called a fool or to be made foolish, especially from the opposing team's coach and especially from Kivu, because we all know Kivu's history as a player, an absolute mutt. I loved it. And he goes, this is my opportunity now, I guess, to talk about Inter players. But I won't do that. And you all know exactly who he's talking about. And that's the best part about it. These guys start crying and etc. They know exactly who we're talking about. It didn't even take 24 fucking hours for Serie A to have an incident. It was Orban in that match against Parma being sent off for dissent. That was less dissent depending on what he said, but still nowhere near to the levels of dissent that Inter showed in that game. And that shows me exactly how there is zero consistency in this league. But going back to our club, our men, how they handled it, top drawer. Top drawer. Loved everything about it. Spalletti's words going into this one. Omer, anything to touch on with that little dig on Kivu?
No, you covered it. I don't know if it's because he's just inexperienced as a coach or is just an Inter for life, so he's an asshole in general. Um, but I loved how they handled it. Everyone, and I told you in the group chat, I think everyone from Juve, from management all the way down to the players, can hold their heads up high after that match. They made
Yeah.
they made us proud. I'm proud to be a Juve fan in this situation, regardless of the loss. And by the way, we would have won that fucking match without the referee.
Absolutely.
We were so much
Absolutely we
better
would
than
have.
them.
We were
And
the
you know,
better side. We were the better
everything comes
side.
back. We're the better side. And I'm actually happy with how Spalletti managed the substitutions and whatever, because although it's annoying, and although you're down to 10 men and you want your best players, he remembered that he has Galatasaray on mind. With all the emotions and all the bullshit that went in, I didn't want Yildiz to like press for the rest of the match across the front line.
Yeah.
So I think the way he handled the match was actually great. The way he handled the press conference, the way he knew how the league operates. That's why he moved Komoli away from the referee, because it could even get worse. So just that's what I like, to have an experienced manager who knows the league inside and out and how to work inside of it.
And again, just to further confirm, we had the Orban situation less than 24 hours after the debacle in the Derby d'Italia. I said it on the post-match show. We're the only ones that come out with honor, with dignity, looking right. Inter, sure as fuck don't. And I love hearing analysts say their best player was the ref. And you heard that across everywhere. But the league, big time egg on their face. And what do? Well, saw the reminder in the chat. Had to pull it up. Amorim apparently plays for Genoa now. In case you missed that. This is the league that we're dealing with. This is the people in charge. This is the people, running roughshod here. Amorim substituted in for Genoa. They literally took the fucking coach and photoshopped him in a jersey, not realizing, I have no words for this level of incompetency. And then you think that, they just have no idea what a joke they are in the world of football. And when anybody stands out against it, they're against us. We have to bring them down. We have to strike them down. Guys, you have so many issues in Serie A, it's not even fucking funny. It's not even fucking funny. Okay? But this is the level of this league. Okay? Seriously,
It gets far worse. I'm not going to get into all the shit they do, but it's on a weekly basis. Every week you have something idiotic that Serie A is doing. And on the other hand, they want to be counted as one of the best leagues in the world. And they want to host the 2030 World Cup. How? How the fuck are you going to host that World Cup? You can't host your own league. You want to host the World Cup, look at the stadiums. Look at the youth. Look at your own national team. They cannot make it to the World Cup if it is in Italy. Even the Winter Olympics now, some of the buildings weren't ready in time and they just said, fuck it, the building is not ready.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous the way they handle things, and no one's going to take you seriously.
No. Ibrahim doesn't even believe it. That is a legit image from the match. They posted that. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That is a legit image from that game when that substitution happened. Absolute joke. Absolute clown show of a league. It's hilarious to me. It's just hilarious to me. We are the ones that come out looking great. Now, we talked about these injuries, everything that Spalletti has to kind of deal with going into this game. Let's highlight this game. We'll look at the projected lineups. We'll get everybody's thoughts on it and how we feel about it, okay? With a 2-point buffer heading into that final match day, Galatasaray, they could afford that tame 2-0 defeat to City when the league phase reached its chaotic ending last month there. But that loss did make it 4 Champions League games without a win for them. 3 victories in 14 continental fixtures, but they still scraped through in 20th place. Since then, though, Gala posted 4 straight wins across all competitions, racking up 15 goals in the process. And Icardi has scored 5, including a hat-trick in Friday's 5-1 thumping. This is, though, the first Champions League KO since 2014 for Galatasaray. And this will mark the 7th Champions League meeting with Juve. And the 6 previous encounters, group stage, Galatasaray won the most recent clash 1-0 December 2013. Juve have not won there. They have not won there in the 3 attempts. Juve's got a lot of noise around them, obviously, with what went down there. But I think that Spalletti's message being the same as us, with that sense of pride, the message he sent to the players that if you match that level you just showed me tonight in that Derby d'Italia, you will win a lot of games. You are a strong team. And they played like a unit. And they looked good, even down a man. And that message got to ring through because he's going to have to make some decisions. All right? And some argue that despite all that noise, despite what went down, that might have been exactly what we needed to fuel the spark to go down the stretch. Let's see. Let's see if it will be. Meanwhile, there is something looming that's, I know, in the back of all our minds. Juve haven't won a knockout since Atletico Madrid in 2018. All right, 5 straight KO ties that we've lost since Atletico.
Yeah, that's why I'm not that. I mean, it's not that I'm not positive, but approach it with caution.
It's a
I mean,
different beast.
Yeah, Eindhoven still rings in my head from last season. We beat them 3-1 the first game, and then it all crumbled. I mean, it was towards the end of Thiago Motta, so the team was in shambles anyway. But don't make light of it. Playing in Turkey is super hard. We all remember what happened in 2013-14 season. And, they're just a good club. They have some very good players, very experienced players in Champions League. It's not going to be easy. I would be happy with a draw, to be honest. Take the tie home and decide that there I'll feel much more comfortable. But it's sort of like the Portuguese team. Like at home, it's a different beast.
Yeah.
And Kenan playing in Turkey would be interesting.
It's going to be interesting, all right. If you look at all form, okay? All competitions form. Galatasaray, last 6, 5 wins, 1 loss. Juve, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. All right, so that's a form going into this game. We're going to get into the lineup projections. We're going to start off with Galatasaray. So you could see here, it's got Osimhen up top there. Okay, so you got obviously from the back, Shakira, Salah, Sanchez, Bardachki, Elma, Gundogan, Torreira, very familiar guys there. Sane, Sada, Yilmaz, and then Osimhen. But Icardi could be going. Obviously, he's captain and he's been red hot as of late. He's got the potential to line up with 2 of them. Both of them, but it's not expected that he's going to do that. It's going to be one or the other. So he's got an interesting decision to make there. But this particular projection has Osimhen there. I've seen others that have Icardi there. Sane is expected to start. Gundogan, of course, will be in there. And Torreira. They've got, they've got a good team. They're going to be fueled by that crowd. It is going to be hostile territory. It's going to be hostile territory. Juve's got to be well aware of the danger, but you have to find this happy medium of respect, but not fear. And that's what this game's going to all be about, is respect and focus of the danger, but not fearful to where it hinders your play. That's going to be the big story of this game for Juve. For me, if we're going to look at Juve's lineup and what's expected, this is the projection. And it's kind of surprising because Thuram's supposed to be starting. We heard this. But this is, coming out from a couple outlets as well. Not just Sky, but Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Bremer, Kelly, Cambiaso, Locatelli, Cope Miners. But I expect Thuram to be in there. You have Chico, McKennie, Yildiz, and Openda up top. Now, you've got Cugino Eddie coming in here saying, as much as I'm not a David fan, we can't go with Openda as our striker. Weston needs to move up, especially since he's our only front guy and good in the air. I don't actually believe Openda is going to start at the top, and we have heard rumors McKennie is going to be at the top. I'm looking at this in a couple ways. Number one, I don't think Cole Miners should play. That pivot does not work. And I don't expect him to. It'll be Thuram. Number two, you either go 4-3, three midfielders flat, and you go 4-3-1-2 with McKennie and Yildiz acting as your two, and you can take your pick of Miretti or Chico in behind. Chico can do it. He was central with Tudor, and he looked very good in there as well. That's one of your options. Or the other option is slide McKennie to the top, move Yildiz in at the 10, and start Boga. Those are the only two ways I'm looking at this team to kind of line up. But Openda starting is not on the docket for me myself. Omer, what do you think?
I don't have any issue with Openda starting there. McKennie as the striker, I mean, it looks good, it sounds good, but it's a whole different beast from what he's doing right now. As a striker, he's going to get a lot more of attention. He's going to have defenders on his back at all times. And I think McKennie's biggest strength is that he's impossible to mark when he's in different positions because he always runs around everywhere. And I wouldn't try that because if it doesn't work, if it's not his position and it just can't work out, we're losing on the other end of all the other stuff he does. And trying it against Galatasaray away in a Champions League and everything we just mentioned about not qualifying, it's not the time. Try it against Como. Okay, fine. I wouldn't bitch about that. But right now, it's too important to try new things. For me, what you showed, for the except of Coop Miners and Thuram in there instead of him, that's our strongest lineup. I'll start Openda and Ildiz, Conceição. I wouldn't mind, okay, if let's say Chico is, no, you know what? I wouldn't do it. I like the idea of Boga on the left and Ildiz in the center, but I also want Chico in there. So, no, I'll go with what you showed plus Thuram.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it because McKennie does well with that freedom and being that extra guy and just kind of popping up. But at the same time, I don't have much faith in Openda. I really don't. I really, really don't. I hope I'm wrong today if he gets a start because he very well could be starting at striker for Juve. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Galatasaray isn't locked down at the back. That's why I think you can get away with it. And you're battling this thing of, are you overthinking it? Should you just play Max so that these other guys like Yildiz can play off of like a bigger guy? Because Max bigger, he's physical. He can hold his own. Like he can do the hold up game. It's tough. That's why I was thinking, you also have that option of playing Yildiz very close to him, off him, so that he can get the touches to Yildiz. Mac will run off of it. I don't know. Openda is very, very one-dimensional and just sporadic. I mean, physically and with his pace, he could create some issues that open up some avenues, so there's that. But Boga could as well. Boga could as well from the outside to open up some freedom for Yildiz inside centrally. Like, I think you have some things at play here that could still work. It's interesting. It's going to be a very interesting call. This is tough for Spalletti. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's an easy decision because
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't, and you have no striker on the bench as well. That's also an issue. If Openda doesn't work out,
Yeah.
and you already burned out McKennie and Ildiz, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to keep faith in Spalletti, in his experience and his ability to come up with solutions. Let's leave it to him. Personally, I would start Openda. I think Galatasaray will push very high. I think that would benefit him as well. We saw that he is a physical guy and he does manage to get in behind defenders. He does have pace. It's his finishing and link-up play that leaves a lot to be desired. But let's see how the game unfolds. It's impossible to predict, and Juve could dominate that match, and all our predictions would be futile.
Well, hopefully. Speaking of predictions, let's get into it. Hit me with your prediction for this game, Omer. Chat, what are you feeling? What do you like in this game?
Okay, I don't know if it's a prediction. It's more of a wishful thinking. Although I do not wish for a draw, but
Do you want me to
kinda
set
think
the
that
tone first, just in honor of Mr.
no,
Skanga?
I'm okay, yeah. Go ahead. Let's see
It
what
is a
Matt
Dutch
going to
official.
ruin our match. Yes.
Danny Macaulay. Okay, 341 Eredivisie matches, 3.2 yellows per game, 70 reds, 101 PKs. In Champions League, he's got 71 appearances, 3.9 yellows per game, so he definitely keeps it in the pocket. 14 reds and 26 PKs. So, yeah, very close to a 1 in 5 match for PK and stuff, and very low yellows per game. He's a let him play guy, so there's the official. It'll be a Dutchman.
Nice. Sounds promising. Let's see if he ruins our the rest of the week. So yeah, I'm gonna go with your prediction from last time. I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. 2-2 draw in this one.
Yeah.
All right. Any
Yildiz-
tiebreakers you want to
Yildiz-
add to it?
Yeah, Yildiz gets one in Turkey, and you know what? Openda gets one.
Woo! 4-3. 3-1 Juve win. 2-1 Juve. Yildiz will score. 3-1 Juve win. 2-1 Juventus win. 3-1 Juve. A 2-2 draw. Right there with you. 2-1 for Juve. 2-1 for Juve. 5-0 Juve. Crispy, man. I love it. I love it. Ibrahim's going 3-2 Juve. Yildiz, Openda, Chico. Whoo! And Panda's telling you all to get the likes up, and you definitely got to do that. By the way, subscribe. Did you guys forget? This is the kick giveaway for February. Oh, boy.
Okay. An early bold statement. I hate that shirt. I think it's awful. I know a lot of
An
people
early
like
bold statement. I don't give a shit. That's crazy. You don't
Yeah.
like it. It's sweet.
I
It
don't
is
like
sweet.
that Palace kit. I don't.
It's fucking
Because of the
unreal.
numbers. It's because of the numbers.
No, it's sick. It is sick. What
Sorry,
a
I
kit.
don't like
What
the
a
color
kit.
of the numbers.
Yes, get subscribed. That's kick giveaway. 2-0, 2-0 Juve. My prediction. I think it's going to be a crazy Champions League matchup. I think you're going to get some goals. I'm not convinced of them at the back that we can't hurt them and we can't strike. I also recognize the danger that they possess and the hostility that we're going to face there. All of that, 3-2 Juventus today. 3-2 Juventus today because they're going to be battle ready, battle tested, ready for war after what went down, all united. Players have to feed off the coach and what Chiellini and Camoli did. How Elkin doubled down and followed up. They have to feed off it. I'm going 3-2. In terms of some goal scorers, you're going to get Gleison Bremer with a header today. Gleison Bremer will score on a set piece for Juve. And I'm going to say that one of our midfielders bags. So Thuram coming back in. I actually think Thuram will score in this game, even though he's just come back. I'm going to say Thuram, Bremer, a couple goals. Let's put them down for a couple. And it's Turkey. I'm going to jump aboard that Yildiz train. Hell yeah. Yildiz bags.
Yeah.
There's my goal scorer.
And Berto, Akira in the chat asked, how do you enter the contest to win the shirt? So maybe go
subscribe. All subscribers are in for the Palace. All subscribers in for the Palace, okay? That'll be at the end of the month of February. Again, congratulations to January's winners, Pino, Bianconero, and Tony Roast Beef. Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we got Storm the Barn, everybody. Predictions are in. There is a watch-along, by the way, for this game. And we got the early game. So it's actually 9:45 a.m. my time. It's in about 3 hours' time. 20 minutes before kickoff. Hope to see you all right back here. There's a watch-along in play today for Champions League, all right? Now, let's get into this. No. Well, you know what? No. Let's do bald statements first.
Yeah, so we have bold statements. Okay, we got let's do 5. I've got 8. We'll save some for next time. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Okay, so this one came from the Army chat. By the way, if anyone wants to get in the chat, we'll explain it later how you do that. Great place, lots of Juve talks all the time. Enjoy it. The loss against Inter did more good than bad to Juve.
Fully agree. Fully agree. Any bad that you could take out of it are things that already existed. That's why Amici di Nessuno is a thing. So none of that changed. As far as the good is that the players finally have management that is there for them, that has their back. And Spalletti does too. Nothing but good. Totally agree.
Yeah, I would agree as well. As sucks as the loss was, like I said earlier, Juve can hold their heads up high. They were, even with 10 men, you can maybe say they were the better team at the end of the day. And everything that happened seemed like it united them. They kept their cool. They didn't go off. They didn't spew any bullshit to the media afterwards like other people did. If I've been a player in that situation, I would have felt better. Yeah, the loss complicates the table a bit, which is the main issue, but there's still quite an amount of games to go, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, next one. That Inter-La Peña match was worse than Michael Oliver and Real Madrid.
Okay. In terms of the entire match, La Peña was absolutely by far way worse than Oliver. But in terms of moments and what it meant, Oliver was worse. Like, that's a tough one. Agree and disagree. I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I would probably say this one. Yeah, it was worse because I mean, with Oliver, you kind of got that feeling in the 90-something minute. The rest of the match, Juve were fire. They were winning. They were like 3-0 on Real Madrid away at the Bernabeu against that Real Madrid. I was high as a kite for all of the match except for that one instance. Where in this one, he kind of ruined it from the first half and was a completely different story after that red card. And that match could have potentially opened up the Scudetto race, solidified Juve's in the Champions League race even more. So the implications are maybe worse. Maybe. Hard to say now. But I would put that above Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver was a single instance. That was an entire match that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I was fuming.
Wholeheartedly believe if we get by that phase, we win that Champions League. I wholeheartedly believe that. Mm-hmm. I wholeheartly believe you get by that phase and that doesn't happen with Oliver, you win the Champions League. It stings. As a moment, that one is bigger for me. There's still a ton of points up for grabs. But as a 90-minute, it was just terrible from La Peña. So a worse performance than Oliver, but the moment can't be worse for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough though.
Okay. It's tough. Those are two really bad ones.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Oh, I like that one because now I get some name dropping in the chat. I always like the name dropping. In terms of overall stats, Vidal was the most complete player we had, at least since the turn of the millennium. Now, when I say overall stats and complete player, I mean he excelled at every one of the like basic stuff of football. Like I'm not talking about XG and that bullshit. Tackling, defending, attacking, passing, crossing, heading, shooting, outside the box, everything.
Oof. You got some shouts for Pogba, but tackling and all the defensive, Pogba, was he up there with Vidal? He was probably close.
I don't think he was that good with his head compared to his height. I don't think it was that good with his head. I think
Yeah,
Vidal
we're
had
talking
more head goals.
statistically. Do we have the numbers though? That's the tough thing. Like, I don't know. Pogba's probably the one that stands out in terms of complete to put in there. But guys, the phrase is statistically in all these things. You'd have to look. I don't know who would be statistically. I don't have the numbers. I don't know. Pogba's the closest one I think I could put there if you're talking everything, because he had a lot of everything, goals, assists. He's got to be up there, and he's going to have some defensive prowess in there playing in the midfield. Marquisio would be probably close because he had decent offensive contribution. But not to the levels of Vidal. Vidal actually led us in scoring one season.
Yeah, it was our Capo Cannoniere in 2012-13.
Yeah, that's probably it. From the turn of the millennium, Zizou will not be included in there. Nedved, you can make the argument, but I don't think the stats are gonna back that in terms of overall. It might be Vidal. You know what? It could be a shout for McKennie.
I think a closer shout would probably be Cuadrado, since he did it all and he played as a right back in his last at least 2 years. But we always said about him that he's master. How did you say it? A jack of all trades,
master of none.
Yeah, and I feel like Vidal was actually master in at least most of them. His tackling, his shooting, the amount of goals he got as a midfielder, his stamina. Very, very rarely injured.
Yeah. You got shouts for Zambrotta statistically, though. Statistic back, and that's the kicker in all this. If you want to say the most complete player since the turn of millennium, you'll open up way more names. But the stats got to back it. That's where the kicker is.
Yeah.
It's tough to go against Vidal. By the way, Lamina is part of Galatasaray, but he won't be playing today. I think he's out.
Thought he was like 90. Okay. So, next one. Juve Milan is not a real rivalry. At least not anymore. Just another big game.
Juve and what? Milan?
Yeah.
No, it's a big match. It's not to the degree that it was in the 90s. Like it's lost a lot of muster, and I think a part of it is just I think you could kind of see it too slightly over what happened at the weekend, but everybody's kind of like united in this Intermerda thing. And they were all kind of like united, even Napoli getting in there with Inter.
They're kind of because those matches, that match affected them directly. It kind of killed Milan's chances. I mean, if they lose the derby in a week, it kind of killed their chances for challenging for a Scudetto. So that match affected both those teams, not only us.
There's a lot of like I feel like more mutual respect in that rivalry.
Yeah, exactly.
That like Inter, there's absolutely nothing, and even I can tell like when I talk to a Milanista, it's night and day to if I talk it to an Inter fan. Like, there's very
Yeah.
little talking with me and an Inter fan. Okay, some of them are my cousins, by the way, but it's just like no, it's there's a lot of hate there. That hate is just not felt with that. There's
I
more of a mutual respect there. So in
Yeah,
terms of
that's
the
it.
time, it's faded. It's lost that bite, that sting. It's more just a big game.
Yeah, I don't hate them. Like I don't hate playing against them. They had tons of players that I absolutely loved. And I don't know, I don't get the same feelings when we play them or when we played them. I mean, even back in the day, there's some sort, like you said, of mutual respect between the teams. Those are the two most successful teams out of Italy. Maybe they kind of understand each other. And so, yeah, I don't feel like there's a rivalry. Certainly not the one we have with Inter, and even Napoli has surpassed them for me. I hate
Yeah,
Napoli much more than I don't hate Milan. I'm just not a fan.
yeah. I
But they do have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, and we're all dealing with the bullshit that is Inter. And I mean, this isn't just made up. This isn't just come out of nowhere. But I mean, you have a team that should have never been able to register while they won that last Scudetto, okay? Shouldn't have been able to register financially based on a precedent set by the league prior. You have the way that they just act, the demeanor, the arrogance throughout history. The amount of scumbags that have played for that team, I feel, is bigger than the other clubs in Italy. You have a team that used to, while winning in Italy, had two Italians on their entire roster at what time? I believe it was like Toldo and Matarazzi. That's it.
No, Materazzi and Balotelli, and both of them were
Well,
subs.
Toldo was
By the
on
way,
the side too, so then they had three. Because
three
Toldo was on the
subs.
bench,
By the way,
Matarazzi was on the bench at that point. They weren't even starters on that team. You had all foreigners. That was what they were known for too. It's just scumbag FC. It's night and day. There's respect with Milan. There's none for Inter Merda.
yeah, I agree, fully agree. Um, Last one. Zidane was the best sale ever for Juve.
Yes, obviously with the follow up. Is there anything that rivals a big
I
sale
mean,
out of Juve? That like would Pogba be the considered the best because it was literally free bringing
yeah,
him in, and Zizou was what did Zizou come in on? Pogba
not
might
much.
be the best in terms of just the money gained on like a 800K player that we brought in. But the
Not
follow
only
up
that,
went directly to Higuain, pretty
and
much.
Pjanic, and
And
Pjanic.
Pjanic 20, yeah. So you've got Zizou going into Taram, Buffon, Nedved.
Zenoni, don't forget.
Of course, the legend himself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think the payback is there with the Pogba sale. I gotta say Zizou might be the best sale ever just because of what you did with the team at that point. Pogba was obviously the biggest, but
hmm
man, the follow up and Higuain was fantastic, and so was Pjanic as well. But Jesus, man, you picked up the best goalkeeper in the history of the game that stayed with you forever and
Yeah.
was part of the group that stuck around and brought you back where you needed to be and was part of a decade of dominance, like, and set records with this. It's gonna have to be Zizou as the best sale Juve made.
Yeah, I would agree based on the situation that you were in. Because with Pogba, it was like just money to continue being what we already were, just a transition to kind of a new phase for Juve after Tevez, Pirlo, Vidal left, and 1 year of Allegri. And with Zizou, Juve were on the downside. I mean, Roma and Lazio won the Scudetto in those years. You were not much of a factor. A lot of aging players who they failed to replace. And then they sold Zidane and brought in the best goalkeeper ever, a future Ballon d'Or winner, and a guy whose family still runs deep into Juve to this day, and Zanoni. So, yeah, to be honest, I don't even think it's a competition. Like what Zidane's sale did to Juve was just phenomenal. The
Yeah.
the the perfect way to make something out of selling a big player, and it's not easy. It's never easy. Um, yeah, that's about it. I saved the rest for next time. Thank you for joining the bold statements. And now it's time for the Storm the
There
Barn
you go.
questions.
There you go. Zizou was such a man, one of my favorite players of all time. He was so damn good for Juve too, but like what some might go against too, I think sometimes is he was really good after too. Like the Madrid Zizou was phenomenal too, and that World Cup, like holy smokes! Like well, we saw it in 06. You know that
Yeah,
headbutt doesn't happen, and he takes out of there. Like I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Zizou would probably be the best sale.
yeah.
The best
And
sale.
and
Storm
he's
the.
one of those players that you kind of had to watch. Because if
Oh
you
yeah.
look into his numbers, stats, you wouldn't be impressed. You will tell me that, that guy from Man City has much more goals and assists than him. Yeah, different times. Zizou was one of those guys like Iniesta that you had to watch him play to understand how good they were. It's not in the stats.
Yeah. Ooh, this is interesting. Zizou is the last player where I felt like Juve had the best player in the world. I can't say that.
We had Buffon
We
for
had
like,
Buffon, man. Buffon was the best for me, the best goalkeeper in the game. Period. Buffon's the last guy I'd probably say that for. Um, although there was a period of time where I'd actually say I felt like we had the best defender in the world in Chiellini.
hmm
There was a
yeah,
stretch there where I was like, he's the best fucking defender in the world.
yeah, and
Ronaldo was
Cristiano
Ronaldo
Ronaldo.
the best player in the world. He was right there with Messi too.
Yeah,
He was right there with Messi
wouldn't
too. So I can't say that
mhm.
Zizou's not the last time I felt he was the best player in the world. He was one of them, but Buffon for me for sure would be the last. Um,
Mhm.
and CR7's in there
I
too. I
mean,
mean,
you can
yeah,
say like who said it? Gio Cannavaro in '06, Nedved won the Ballon d'Or. I mean, we had some
yeah,
best player. It's just the amount of time they were considered the best in the world. Because for Zidane, it was like I don't know 3 4 years, and the competition was too tough. Like challenging Ronaldo, R9, and no, I'm not gonna name drop everyone, but
yeah.
still,
Let's get going with Storm the Barn. We have time for quite a bit, actually. We've made great time, the two of us here. Hope you guys are enjoying. We got a big, big game today. Watch along in effect. Knowing Tonali would be a hard move to complete with all the Prem teams having the capacity to outbid us. Would you pivot to a guy like Ederson or go all out for a striker like Osimhen? I'll be quite honest. I'm not into picking up Ederson. I'm not.
mhm.
I would love
No,
Tonali, but I also am unsure about the splash. I'll be quite honest. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know, man. What do you think?
uh, I'm just gonna echo what you said, so I have nothing to add.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna wait and see what kind of develops with
I
these
wouldn't touch
deals.
Ederson. I wouldn't touch Ederson. I don't want to funnel more money into that club and find myself again disappointed at a big signing. In general, I'm not unless it's someone very exceptional. I wouldn't go for anyone and spend a lot of money on anyone.
No to all three from Kielostar.
Mhm. I
I
would love
mean,
Osimhen, but again, doesn't seem like it can happen.
I guess you gotta kind of here's the kicker because you guys know we've been getting fed a lot of these rumors with free deals, right? These free agents. That's gonna be where the substance lies. If you can make some stellar pickup, like let's just say you get some good deals on free. Let's say Bernardo Silva is one of them. Okay? Let's say Juve does land Bernardo Silva. Let's say they land Senesi. Okay? That's very, very good. That's big for
Mhm.
Juve because that opens a door, right? You make some sales. It opens a door. You could splash one. If you were going to splash one, let's say that those were the two free agents you got. I'm going to create a hypothetical situation. You've landed Senesi, you've landed Silva. Do you still splash on Tonali? Do you splash on Osimhen?
Uh,
Or
Only
would
the
you
two of
rather
them?
spread the money out still, even landing those guys on a free?
I would probably spread the money. Um, Mainly because I don't go to both of these positions immediately. First of all, I go for a left back before anything. If you landed those two, now Bernardo Silva is kind of midfield, attacking midfielder. I don't think Juve should go for both him and Tonali. It's either him or him, but I do like the Locatelli to Ram combination, so not a lot of wiggle room in there anyway. Um, Osimhen is a goal machine. I mean, I do like Osimhen. He has a lot of character that it brings in, for better or worse. The same could have been said about Tevez, but it worked out perfectly. So I like Osimhen. Regarding the clause, someone asked her about the no Juve clause. That was when he was at Napoli. I don't think he's a Napoli player anymore. He's not on loan, right? He was purchased by Galatasaray. So no anti-Juve clause. It's a tough one. He's a really good
I
player.
I
He
feel
brings a lot,
like
negative and positive.
you got to look at, like, it's going to be a personal feeling as to where you think the help needs to go, but I think you need one star signing. I think you need at the very least one star signing with this team going into next season to just help lighten the load. If I'm looking at midfield, I'm sorry. I think we're light. I think we're skinny because I think you got to say goodbye to Colt Miners, and you're probably going to take your lumps there. But McKennie, I see kind of as this utility guy that's clutch for us, but not an actual midfielder, not an actual legit midfielder. So that leaves you with Locatelli, Thuram, and Miretti. So for me, I get it. You want that guy up top. But I think traits might help you. Like, more than just that all-out killer that's got a ton of goals in him. But it's tough to say because if you spread the money out, get a decent midfielder, splash on an absolute killer of a striker, if you've already brought Silva in on a free, that's probably my play. But it's very hard to say no to Tonali, who right now is in the discussion for best Premier League player right now. It's very hard to say. Like, you know, it it might be that killer up top that takes it. If, for me, we brought in a guy like Silva on a free. So these free agents are what's going to eventually answer the question for us on what we want to do. Because if you don't land them and you got to spend money, guess what? It ain't going to be either one of them. You're not going to get a shot at any of them.
My
So,
feeling is that Vlahovic is going to be renewed and you don't sign any top striker, at least maybe some rotational guy, but I don't. I think they'll renew Vlahovic. Don't know why. I just get this feeling.
yeah. The next one was when, when does the Juve clause end for Osimhen? But I believe they purchased him. You just said that, right?
Yeah. I don't think it applies anymore.
I believe they did make it final. Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
completed
yeah,
it in July for 2025, so it's done. It's over.
yeah.
He's owned by Galatasaray. If we get them for free, we should go for a number 9 because clearly David is not a 9. He plays better with two strikers up front. I think he's fine even as a 1. He's just a different style. That's why I said, like, you can get away with a big man up top as a changeup. But I don't see us, and I don't see us with Spalletti going to a 2-striker set ever. You know, maybe in a pinch somewhere here or there, he decides to do something, act a little, out of the ordinary, but I don't see it happening. It's always going to be just one guy up top, I feel like. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not that anti David as a lot of people are. I think it takes time to understand how Italy works, the defenses, the tactics, and even Osimhen himself. We talk about him and how great he is. It took him like a year and a half, 2 years to actually settle in and start really producing and becoming who he was in Serie A. It's not immediate for a lot of players. And even Ronaldo said it. That's like the top scorer ever. And he said Italy was tough. It took a while to adjust. So I'm not that hard on Jonathan David. I think he needs more time to understand the league better, and we've already seen improvement this year. I think it can get better.
Yeah.
If by the same time we're having the same conversations next year, then for me he's gone.
What is OC's salary? Ready for this? 21 million. 15 million net, and the rest is bonuses. That's net, okay? That's net. He nets that.
We're not signing Osimhen.
Madonna mia. Madonna mia. Net. Whoo! Yeah, te. Minchia, we would say. Minchia. Oh. Again with the Loca Coupe double pivot. It will never work. That's how we start. I expect a slow and dead game from Juve. Also with the right lineup, I think this is an extremely easy game. Wow. Sikoko, I think even if you get the best and you nail it, it's still going to be a tough game. It's still going to be a tough game. I don't think it'll be an easy game with the right lineup, but I'm definitely not feeling the Locatelli Cope Miners double pivot. Yeah, I'm not feeling that one. Not feeling that one. And it is what's little bit of a change up here, because now they're saying that's going to be 4-3-3. Okay, so bit of a change up from that Cope Miners Loca pivot. Actually, you know what? Let me just bring it up for you. Let me just bring it up for you and show you, rather than just try to explain this. Okay?
That's a bold statement with the right lineup. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I've said it earlier. It never is in Turkey.
No. So this is the new projected 4-3-3. 4-3-3, so you can see Thuram, Loca, Cope Miners, Chico, McKennie, Yildiz operate from midfield to top. Everything at the back stays the same. So let's just ask the question. What do you feel better about? This or this?
The first one. I mean, the second one, this might work. It might be great, but it can also work awful.
Change Cope Miners for Moretti, and I'm a go with this lineup. Change Cope Miners to Moretti. Because
I actually think Moretti
you'll do a 4-2-3-1. I just don't like Openda. I just don't think I don't think he should start. I get the arguments for natural position. I'd put Moretti in there and I'd advance him ahead of Locatelli and Thuram. And he could be the third midfielder centrally up and down. I know he struggled against Derby d'Italia, but I'd have more faith in him than Cope Miners bringing anything to the table. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like, it's just no faith. I don't have faith in Cope Miners. I don't have faith in Openda. I hope they prove me wrong, but I'll be quite honest. In a game of this magnitude,
you move McKennie,
I wouldn't do it.
If you move McKennie to the Cope Miners position and play Openda, would it be better for you? Because then he kind of still is on the right side and he can still do what he does, and you still have that. You can shift to the pivot easily if it doesn't work out.
Well, if you make that change, you have pretty much the first lineup just minus Cope Miners, which should happen regardless. Cope Miners should not be starting this game. Period for me. And if you're asking to move McKennie back and put Openda in, I'm literally saying I have no faith in either one of these guys in a big game. I really don't. I just don't. I have no faith. I would not start either one of them. But that's a problem. But I'm just being honest. I have no faith in either one of those guys. I don't think they deserve a start, and I'm not saying Moretti deserves a start, but if you're telling me who has shown more out of the three of them, I'd still say it's Moretti, whether that be a little bit or a lot. I don't know. This is a tough one. So Spalletti maybe going 4-3-3, Mac up top. We'll wait to see. He's got a big decision to make, and this is a big game. Like we said, it's not easy. Would you give another chance to Luiz and Gonzalez and sell Zagrova and Cope Miners?
No, I think that ship has sailed. Maybe Spalletti can get something out of Luis and kind of bring him back to that sort of dictator we hoped he would be. But I don't see him going up to the levels, providing what Thuram and Locatelli provide in terms of just space covered and helping in defense. I don't know. I don't see Juve dominating a midfield with Luis and Gonzalez as well. It just, I don't think that it's it, but I don't know. I'm just a guy on a podcast. Maybe it can bring something out of both of them.
Okay, so if I'm going to look at these two players, first of all, sell Zagrova and Cope Miners. Cope Miners, absolutely. Like yesterday. Zagrova, what is the actual situation around this fucking player? Like, I'd love to know that before making that call, because he was brought in very cheap. So I'm willing to wait to see if it is, in fact, a fitness thing. So I'm not going to pull the trigger there. If you're talking about Luiz and Gonzalez, Douglas Luiz, it just not a fit, okay? Obviously. I've never seen anything like that. So it just seemed like it never made sense from club, from player, all of it. I don't understand why we'd look to go back to it, because it looked like the guy never gave a shit. If you didn't tell me, like if you told me this, I'd probably believe you based on how it played out, that Juve actually wanted Alicia Lehmann and Douglas Luiz just came and followed suit. Like, I'd actually believe that based on how things played out, that they truly wanted Lehmann and that was the way to get them. It was a horror show. Don't go back to it. The relationship just obviously was not there from the start. Gonzalez, Gonzalez can be a decent rotational guy. 40 was a lot for a rotational guy. 40 was a lot for a rotational guy. Never push the edge for a starter. I'm not too big on either one of them. Okay? Not too big.
I want the money. I want the money.
Yeah, I'd say bye-bye. Got to make those moves. Skippy says to me, Moretti, not good enough. Sorry, Berto. Neither is Cope Miners or Openda, Skippy. So, hey, we're picking poison at this point. For me,
what's with his passing? He does everything great, but the final pass is absolutely horrible. It's not only the Inter game. He always passes it backwards.
No, because it's been all over the place. Because at the start there, he was doing very well. Holy smokes. That Champions League game against Bodo, unreal. He was phenomenal. He stepped in there. He was cooking. Him and Yildiz looked great. And he had a few games in there where it was like, okay, this guy's pushing the envelope to start getting in there more. And then it didn't happen. And then he went to the bench. And since then, it's been up and down. Okay showing, bad showing. Decent showing, bad showing. It's kind of like it's been a yo-yo ever since that beginning. So he's got to find that start there. And there was a little bit of an injury at that moment. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but he doesn't look the same anymore to when he was pushing the envelope there. So fans believe he's just not good enough. I think I'm not at the point to say he's just not good enough. I just think he's got a similar trait that a lot of our players have, and that's they're fucking yo-yos. Like, they're up and down. Look at Di Gregorio. Inter game, the first goal, but then he's rock solid the rest of the way. It's like they do this. They're up and down.
Yeah, I feel like every time someone is having a great day, then someone has to have an awful day. Like, I don't feel like we have four players who are performing to the maximum in every match. Always something's got to give. If Field is great and Chico does nothing, and so forth.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can
Moretti, I
we?
mean, even against Inter, I thought he was good in what he usually does: occupy that space, link up. It was good, but the final pass is just horrible, horrible. Every time he has the chance, he either takes too long to make the decision, or when he does make the decision, he performs it awfully,
But
almost
that
never
again,
ahead of the player. But
but
that can
that
be
again
improved.
is like as of
That can be
late.
improved. Yeah,
That
since
again
the
is as of
so-called
late because at the
injury.
beginning, it it wasn't quite that way. So I mean, hey, if you're talking about passing ups and downs and stuff like that, they all have some things to clean up. Can we play Justin Aboadwo? Oh my God, this name
Obo.
Aboadwo. Aboadwo. My goodness. I'm going to be his biggest advocate. I mean, sure, you could play him. Is he gonna? No. Berto, do you have the 99 2000 home kit Sony version? The Sony version of the 99 2000? Because it had Libertad Digitale. So, Sony in 99 2000 was gone unless they did it like at the beginning of it. I can't quite remember 100%. I know I have the Libertad Digitale, but if they made like, because they had some funny things going on back in the day where they'd have alternates and some that they barely wore. I don't know if I have the 99 2000 with Sony, but did they actually rock a Sony, or was it like the end of the 98 99 that you're maybe thinking? We'll have to see. Send me something on one of the socials. I'll take a look at it. I wanted to get a retro Juve kit. Which one would you recommend? I have almost all the shirts since 2015, but I wanted to get an older one. Oh my God. The list
The
is
blue one
long if
from
you're trying to go
96.
retro. What's your favorite retro
The
kit, Omer?
retro kit. I think the one from the Champions League final
With,
in '96, the blue one.
oh yeah, that one of the
Yeah,
holy grails, the
yeah.
95 96. If you're going retro, there is a ton. Like I don't even know. Like yeah,
Definitely not that Palace kit, but
anything with Kappa, like the old school Kappas, are just crazy.
yeah.
Um, I thought that the 97 98 is one of our best home kits ever. This is one of our best home
Hmm.
kits ever, in my opinion.
I mean, it is, yeah,
Absolutely stellar. Sony mini disc.
insane.
Like Kappa, how can you go wrong with Kappa? Kappa was just class, man. This was just a sick kit too. I don't know. You got a
Although
long list.
this is not my favorite logo,
Which one?
by the way. The one on the old retro '90s one. I like the new one a bit better.
Oh, I love that logo. With the no, I love that logo.
I don't hate it. I just love the other one a bit more.
If you're gonna go retro too, one of the ones we just gave away last month, but the 0506 home, fantastic.
You
This
had
was
the
the
blue one with the stars.
Centenario del Primo Scudetto. So that was the 100 year from the first Scudetto, and they put it there under
Yeah.
the patch there. This was unreal kit.
Do you
Unreal.
have the blue one with the stars? I don't remember what year it was. I think 2012, 13. Yeah, that's a beauty. That's an absolute beauty.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
this one's sick.
This one is phenomenal. The logo, Nike, Jeep,
If you can find it,
car.
my friend, this one with the long sleeves, 3 stars, Sul Campo. Oh baby, oh baby. You have a long list, my friend. If you're going retros, jeez. What's your favorite Serie A kit that isn't Juve?
I gotta give credit to Roma. They do produce phenomenal kits almost every year. So yeah, yeah, some of the Roma kits, especially the retro Roma kits from 2000, 2001, those are just a beauty. I had a friend who was a Roma fan, and he had a whole collection of them, and they were gorgeous.
I'd have to say, so I do have Calcio kits. Nothing with Merda, okay? But I do have some legends from Milan, like Maldini. I have several Totti kits. One of the
Mhm.
ones with Roma, I believe it was around somewhere in the '08 to 2010 range would probably be my pick. They were Diadora was their sponsor, but it was a sponsorless kit and just had the Roma crest. So it didn't have anything crazy. It was just it's such a nice kit, and the font that they used back in the day, because we've only recently got into this uniform font thing with all the teams in Serie A, but before they used to have their own individuals and stuff, and I like that much better, to be honest, when teams could do their own thing for the fonts and the name sets. But that Roma kit would probably be
Oh,
the one.
shout out to Tony Roast Beef here. Fiorentina, the away white one with Batistuta on the back.
I
That's
actually,
something
if you were gonna go old
I'd wear it
school,
for my
I'd go the
wedding.
purple with the Nintendo, and Batistuta was sick, man. They had one with 7 Up as the sponsor too. So they had Nintendo, then they had a 7 Up one that was actually kind of wild, but Roma would probably be my favorite non-Juve going back retro, and Parma is a great shout from Gio because Parma had beautiful kits when they were
Okay, so
rocking
a
it.
different question. A different question. What's the worst combination of colors in Italy?
For the teams for their kits, like worst kits right now, or
No, in general, like every team has one or two colors that, kind of is their trademark. I would go,
black and blue clearly the worst
yeah, I mean,
because it
I
makes
don't hate
shit.
blue. Yeah, the combination is not that
um
bad, but yeah, black and blue, I get why. I would say for me, Cremonese, that gray red combination is just awful. It doesn't look good.
that is a bad combo. I think Venezia's got a cool little combo with the black, green, and orange. It's actually
Mhm.
pretty cool. But some of the worst, I could see Cremonese in there. Yeah, I don't really know. I've always thought Lecce with that yellow red is disgusting.
Yeah, a bit of a clown show.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Lecce for me is probably worse than Cremonese in my opinion. Like the yellow
Mhm.
red thing, it's nasty. That'd probably be the
Mhm.
worst one. Worst one for
Mhm.
me. Okay, do you have the green one from 1415? That thing was disgusting. That thing was disgusting. I actually, um, it's not behind me because some of them are in the closet here. It's not in the closet. I have a box, okay, of retros that is still sitting in the garage on a shelf that has to be unpacked. I think it's in there. I'm pretty sure I have it because I believe from 2010s till now, I have all of them. I'm missing some from the 90s to complete my collection, which my goal was everyone from the year I started watching till now, but I'm pretty sure I have that green one because I think the 2010s are done for me. That thing was disgusting though. Did you like that kit?
No, it was horrible.
Oh, it was terrible. But man,
I mean, it's the same reason that I don't like the Palace kit. That sort of green, in general, green. It
oh.
doesn't
But
it
you're
doesn't
talking
look
about
good
a
on the
whole
pitch.
kit versus just highlights. This thing was unreal, man.
My problem with it was that you didn't see the number and the name when they were, shooting the match from the regular angle. It just got mixed up in, I don't know, in all the
This
green of the pitch or whatever, and it looked just like a regular kit. Just when you look, when you look at it up close, then it becomes better. But on the field, from the camera angle of the match, it looks horrible for me. Sorry.
Kit is straight fire. Oh my god. So Vincenzo sent it to me on Instagram, the photos. That's wild, man. So 99 2000 Sony. I actually don't. I haven't even seen those ones, those versions with the Sony on there.
He deserves a giveaway.
Wait a second. So it actually says underneath them Intertoto Cup. So they probably had that sponsor still. Intertoto Cup would have been, I believe, not in the middle of those two seasons. So that's the transition from the year prior going into that year, which then at the end they became sponsored by Libertad Digitale. So that's crazy. That is probably super rare, man. Super rare, because that blue one I just showed you also has Sony on there. And then the white one with the black stars, that's crazy. That's crazy. Man. Okay, show it to you. I'll show it to you. You guys want to see it? Guys are a little demanding in the army today. You know? Guys,
yeah. Great.
A little demanding here. But that's okay. We love you. We love you.
On the contrary, do it more.
Yeah, actually, do it. I don't care. We don't care. Just having a good time before a huge match. Here, pull it up right now. We'll take a look at it. These are rare, man. I don't think I've seen these bad boys. So Intertoto Cup is what the post actually highlights below them. But, yeah. Never seen those in those variations. Even come to think of it, that one with the black stars on there, I've never seen long sleeve with the kappa rolling down the sides of it either. I've only, excuse me, seen the short sleeve, and I don't think the short sleeve has the kappa down there, down the sides. So it's kind of like, yeah, I've never seen those. That's rare.
I loved kappa as a kid. You know why? Because if you block the heads with your thumb.
Easy.
No, that's just it. Everyone can do their own test at home, but I loved it as a kid.
Yeah, those are beauties though. Those are beauties. I've never seen those with Sony. I know I don't have that one. I gotta look into that though. That's super rare. Thanks, Vincenzo. You guys, on that note, we gotta get ready. Big one coming up here today. Omer's going to finish up with his little trick on Kappa kits, so you guys could go try that out with your Kappa kits, all right? But a pleasure as always. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, okay? And we'll reconvene for watch along. As always, no matter what, big one today. Let's see. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Big one in Istanbul. Let's go. Let's go. Ciao tutti.